Hi, in today's video I would like to introduce you a very nice problem of International Mathematical Olympiad edition 1960, the question number 3. Here is the following figure. As ABC as a right triangle, we have the segment BC is divided into n equal parts. MN is one of those parts. Okay, we have midpoint of this segment BC. Let's call it the point Q. Let alpha is an acute angle subtending from the point A. Okay, that the segment BC which contain n parts, there is a altitude h as a height of this triangle. Our goal, we are going to prove this expression as a tangent alpha equals 4 times is multiplied by n as a distance of this segment is multiplied by the heights of this triangle, which is h, is divided by n square minus 1 is multiplied by the a as a distance of this segment BC. Okay, n is an odd number, so this figure is zoomed out to this image. Okay, in fact mn is very small piece, but we just make it bigger to show all this information. Okay, so let's get started now. Let's take the full image to the segment BC to see what's going on here. So this is segment BC. We picked up just little segment which is MN, and we located the midpoint Q. Okay, so since Q is a midpoint of segment BC, that means Q is located in the middle of this segment MN as well. But for the measurement of this BC we already mentioned this is n. When you divide this pieces MN into n parts, that means every individual part takes number 1. So MN it equal to 1. Okay, so that's mean n equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1 and all the way down until you get the last term. Okay, then the distance MQ is a half because Q is located in the middle of this segment BC. Okay, because Q is located in the middle of this little segment MN. So now what I'm going to do now, in order to solve our problem, I'm going to put this figure into the coordinate plane. Let's take this as an origin A. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. Let's set A as an origin, which is it takes 0, 0. Let's take the B is located on the horizontal axis, which is B 0. Let's set B 0, and C axis, let's put 0, and the vertical point output out of this one, which is little c. Okay, since we are in the coordinate plane, I'm going to determine the coordinate of n and q and m. Okay, I'm going to determine the input and output of these points. For the n, I'm going to determine the input output of this point Q first. I will have xq and yu. For the point n, I will have xn, I will have yn as an output. For the point m, by doing the projection line on the segment AB, I will get xm. Here is ym. Okay, so now I'm going to determine all this input output of these points. Let's start with the point Q. Since Q is a midpoint of the segment BC, so now, and we know that BC equal to n, that means Q equal to n over 2 as a input. Output, by doing the projection line, I will get n over 2 as well. Okay, for the point n, we have input xn, which is n over 2 plus half, because we know this distance from this is a half. Okay, so that's mean is n over 2 plus 1 over 2. For the output of this one, since we know that yq is n over 2, that's mean n over 2 minus 1 over 2. So that's mean n over 2 minus half, because is located below to this one, it's done this one by half. Okay, so for the point M, for the coordinate M as a coordinate Cartesian, M equal M by doing the projection line, this is, we know the xq is n over 2, this means this one is n over 2 minus 1 over 2. That's mean n over 2 minus half. For the output of this one, for this point n, for output of this point M, which is n over 2, for this point M, since qy is n over 2, that means this one is n over 2 plus half. Okay, so n over 2 plus half. Now I'm moving on to the angles. Since we know the angle alpha, I'm going to determine alpha 1. So from this point to this point we have alpha 1. Also from this point to this point, let's call this one alpha 2. Okay, then we know alpha as an angle, we know alpha equal to alpha 1 minus alpha 2. So that's mean I'm going to apply this first rule as a tool. I will get tangent of alpha equal tangent of alpha 1 minus alpha 2. Okay, now by using this x formula, which is equal to tangent alpha 1 is minus tangent alpha 2, the whole thing is divided by 1 plus the product of tangent alpha 1 and tangent alpha 2. Okay, now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to calculate tangent alpha 1 and tangent alpha 2. By calculating tangent alpha 1, for the tangent alpha 1, that's mean change in y divided by change in x. In the other word, the opposite, which is this one, divided by Jason. Okay, sine divided by cosine for the tangent. So that's mean we have ym minus ya is divided by xm minus xa. Okay, so that's mean ym minus ya is divided by xm minus xa. For ym, we already found ym equal to n over 2 plus half, n over 2 plus half. Ya is a origin, which is 0, is divided by xm minus xm, which is n over 2 minus half minus 0. Okay, I'm going to cancel out number 2 from numerator and denominator. I will get n plus 1 is divided by n minus 1. Okay, I'm going to calculate tangent alpha 2. This argument follows similarly for alpha 2. Okay, which is yn minus ya is divided by xn minus xa. Yn already determined that yn, which is n over 2 minus half, okay, minus 0 is divided by xn, which is n over 2 plus half minus 0. By cancelling out 1 over 2 from numerator and denominator, I will get n minus 1 is divided by n plus 1. Okay, now I'm going to plug all this information into a tangent expression. I will get tangent alpha equal to tangent alpha 1, which is n plus 1 is divided by n minus 1 minus n minus 1 is divided by n plus 1. The whole thing is divided by 1 plus the product of tangent alpha and tangent alpha. The product of tangent alpha 1 and tangent alpha 2, which I get n plus 1 is divided by n minus 1 multiplied by n minus 1 over n plus 1. Okay, sorry, I forget to multiply this one by b, because b is considered as a x and b is considered as a y vertical, because we have the coordinate. Okay, because we have coordinates points. This one is multiplied by c as well, because this is a vertical axis. This one is multiplied by b, this one is multiplied by c. So the same thing here, this one is multiplied by c over b, this one is multiplied by c, this one is multiplied by b. Okay, so the same thing here, so the whole thing is multiplied by c over b. So this one is multiplied by c over b, quinary square. Okay, because the first one is multiplied by c over b, the second one is multiplied by c over b, which is c over b quinary square. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to simplify this one out. I will get n plus 1 quinary square minus n minus 1 quinary square is divided, the product n minus 1 is multiplied by n plus 1, n plus 1 is multiplied by c over b. Okay, the whole thing is divided. This one, it will be cancelled out with this n minus 1, this one will be cancelled out with this one, so I will get 1 plus c over b quinary square. Okay, I'm going to clean up the board and continue with our calculation. So in the last board I was working on this calculation. Now I'm going to simplify this one more. I will get tangent of alpha equal to, I'm going to simplify this one, it is given as n squared plus 2 times n plus 1 minus n squared, which is minus n squared, minus 2 times n, which is plus 2 times n, plus 1, which is minus 1. The whole thing is multiplied by c over b. The is divided by this one. I will get n minus 1 is multiplied by n plus 1. By simplifying this one, I will get b squared plus c squared over b squared. Okay, so first table, I'm going to cancel out n squared, and plus 1 and minus 1 be cancelled out. I will get tangent alpha equal to 4n is multiplied by c over b. Okay, divided by n minus 1 is multiplied by n plus 1 is divided by the product n minus 1 and n plus 1. I'm going to take the reciprocal of this one. I will get b squared over b squared plus c squared. So by simplifying one of the b, I will get 4 times n bc is divided by n squared minus 1. By factor out this one, the whole thing is multiplied by b squared plus c squared. Okay, so if you take a look at this expression is written in terms of bc, but our goal, we are going to show the expression in terms of h. So the only way we can find h, so we are going to apply the secondary rule, okay, which is the area of this triangle, but we are going to calculate the area of this triangle in 2 different methods. The first method, I'm going to use the Cartesian coordinate. The second method I'm going to use the geometry. Okay, so let's start with the Cartesian coordinate. So I will get the area of this triangle equal to ax. So ax equal to 0 because it's the origin. Whatever this term is, the whole thing is turned to 0 because it's multiplied by 0, plus the second term bx, we have the input b is multiplied by cy equal to c minus ay, which is 0 because that's the origin, plus the last term cx is 0. So whatever the term is, the whole thing is turned into 0. So I will, and divided by 2. So I will be left with BC is divided by 2. Okay. In the same time, I'm going to calculate the area of this triangle. So the area of this triangle equal to BC over 2 equal in the same time half is multiplied by is multiplied by hypotenuse, which is A, is multiplied by the heights of this one, which is H. Okay, now I'm going to make some simplification in both equations. I will get simplies BC equal to A is multiplied by H. Now I'm going to replace BC with AH. Okay, on the other hand, if you take a look underneath, you have B square plus C square. By applying the Pythagorean theorem on this triangle, we have, as a right triangle, we have this distance square plus this distance square equal to this distance square. This distance is a B square plus C square, which we have at denominator, equal to this distance, which is A square. Okay, now I will get tangent alpha equal 4 times is multiplied by n. BC will be replaced with AH. The whole thing is divided by n square minus 1 is multiplied B square plus C square equal to A square. Okay, now I'm going to simplify A from numerator and denominator. I will get 4 times n each is divided by n square minus 1 is multiplied by A. This is exactly the expression that was given, okay, as a proof. Now we have done with this problem. Just consider subscribe. If you have any question or suggest, just put it in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. I will see you in next video. Bye.